Okay, there's some great questions coming in for Jason, and we'll keep going to them, but I'm going to invite John and Rebecca to join in the central panel, and we can start to take questions for them as well. While they're transitioning across, Jason, Wendy Williams wanted to know, have you done hyperspectral on all sites?
Yes, no, we have. The hyperspectral sensing is a new beast. It's really got its roots in airborne remote sensing, and so there's a lot of learnings to be had in the UAV tech. There's a lot of people talking about hyperspectral sensing, and we have probably captured several, probably up to 100 sites now, and so we're getting a grasp on how the hyperspectral sensing works and just some of the intricacies in doing that. But yes, we have got a nice data set now.
Right, and don't forget, if you've got a question for Rebecca or for John, or you might have a question that actually applies to two of our speakers, and you're most welcome to get them to bounce off each other. And to you, John or Rebecca, or vice versa, if you've got a question for Jason or back and forward amongst yourselves, feel free just to give me a wave and let me know. Christopher Kay wants to know how much post-production is involved in processing terrestrial, it's just jumped away, terrestrial scans captured by a drone.
Yeah, so quite a lot. Something that we're working on at the moment is, as I mentioned, an online system where we can a user can put the data up in the cloud and it can process in the cloud and the result brought down. And that's reducing the need for having specialised software and specialised equipment. So that's very much an evolving space, and I think not only us but others will see that evolving in the next little while.
Okay, Jason, again, you're the man of the hour. What are the main differences between the products you are working on compared to commercial products already in the market?
I'll just find that one again.
Right to the top. So what are the difference between the products you're working on compared to commercial products already there?
Okay, so in terms of commercial products, I guess you're referring to drone-based remote commercial products, and if so, they're probably products that are very similar to our products. A lot of the techniques are very similar. The UAV tech has evolved significantly in the last sort of 5 to 10 years. But I will make a note that things like hyperspectral sensing, multispectral sensing, what we call optical-based sensing, is still a very new field. And although a lot of people are talking about how they can do this and how they can do that, there's a lot of science that actually needs to happen. And we're taking a lot of that airborne remote sensing experience and putting it out onto a UAV, and so there's learnings to be had.
Okay. All right. Bev B would like to know, are you happy with the R values you're getting? They seem a bit low for the results from the remote sensing to be accepted by all users.
Oh, look, I think R values are something that we kind of obsess over. As I mentioned before, there's noise in this data, and that noise, I think, is got a lot to do with variability and actually physically measuring right down at this centimetre scale. So yes, they are low values, and they're things that we need to be aware of and improve those through better techniques. But I don't think we should obsess over it, and I think that's the importance of collecting more data and doing this and bringing the science into this, because remember, this is something that's new and evolving.
Okay, Jason, Dion Walsh just wanted to clarify. She was talking about the CIBO labs, the question before about the commercial ones available.
Oh, right, yes. Yeah, for sure. So So what's available through Cybo is a satellite platform, and what we're trying to do is really bridge the gap from the field measurement to the satellite. So we've traditionally gone about measuring something in the field and averaging that across, a large hectare site and then relating it to the satellite. This is about bridging that gap and providing some really high resolution imagery, high resolution features that we can scale and start to bridge that gap, because it's a significant leap to go from that field measurement up to the satellite. And traditionally we've used airborne remote sensing, so putting a helicopter or an aircraft in the air and capturing data in that fashion, where it's always been restrictive and costly, whereas with UAV technology we're seeing that bridge. So it's really about providing a bridge for that into the commercial sector, and also providing an alternative, an open, freely available source for producers to use that's accessible.
Right. Thanks, Jason. We're going to give you a little break. John, we're going to come over to you. Jackie Wilcox wants you to know that she loves your posters behind you, but Bev B has a question for you, and that is that we all have required technology to ensure that the resource is managed properly and profitably. Why do we still poorly manage land in many places?
Yeah, so I think I made the point in my presentation. We've tried to hammer that home throughout the entire EB project that none of these technologies are a silver bullet in terms of being able to totally replace your thinking and your management, but tools to help fine-tune and sort of maximize efficiencies and effectiveness. The biggest problem, I think, is that we still just run too many cattle on a lot of our land types, and that we aren't either acknowledging or considering the basic principles of land management and ecosystem management. So leaving your rain-ready pastures, all those sort of principles that go into good, sustainable grazing land management. These technologies and tools, they won't help you with that. They'll help you to maybe execute some management techniques or practices that you do on your place, but they're not necessarily going to be able to provide you with the direction that you need. That occurs at a more fundamental level. So that's just your basic grazing land management. And some of these tools can certainly, help you fine tune some of those things, but if you haven't already made that mind shift in terms of your ecosystem health and your sustainable use of natural resources, they're not necessarily the tools that'll convince you of that. So I think we're just running too many cattle on some of our land types, and I don't know if technology is going to replace any of those practices.
Yeah. Okay. So John, Stuart Buck wanted to let you know, great presentation. Well done. He wants to know what's been the technology that has been adopted the most.
Yeah. So those more sort of mature technologies, I tend to find ones that have been out there, a trusted product, a trusted technology provider. So it can sort of be 4 or 5 years of being out there in the market before we notice any sort of uptake. So your remote water monitoring technologies is a good example of that. And these newer sorts of technologies that take a while to find themselves useful on your large scale, extensive properties are probably just not there yet. There was one other question that I did answer in the chat there about, is there interest in it, from Carly, I believe. I will say that technology events are our best attended events out of supplementation, land management, forage budget courses, all that sort of thing. We do get a lot of interest. So it was probably the most exciting thing from the project was just how many graziers and industry stakeholders would come along to events and listen to webinars and all of that. So the interest is there. At the moment, though, a lot of that is just peeking over the back fence, wanting to have a look at a trial and how it's going. And so we need to maintain that momentum and keep people informed about what's available to them and how they actually implemented effectively on their property. So yeah, I wanted to answer that, saying that yeah, plenty of interest, and we need to make the most of that momentum.
Okay, John, thank you very much. Jason, much. There are a couple more questions from Jason, but our time is about to run down. So if you want to hang on, Jason, you might be able to answer those in text.
Sure.
Or don't forget, we can contact each other through the portal and make meetings. So there's been particular interest in Jason's session. He may be able to meet with you to talk about it outside of this session. We're going to break now for afternoon tea. If you are in Longreach, we ask that you come back into the main hall area to meet us here, and we will see you back at 4:45. Thank you so much.